in the hope that Bournemouth could help them. And this was the reaction when the full-time whistle went and the reality sunk in that they, after 3 successive second places in the Premier League, had finally gone one better, and they knew they were champions of England. That was the Arsenal and staff all together at the training ground. This is the Arsenal fans outside the Emirates Stadium, all spread around Islington tonight. 22 long and sometimes painful and hurtful years finally have come to an end, guided through by Mikel Arteta. And around the globe, they are all celebrating. Social media, understandably, going into overdrive as well. I wonder what one Arsene Wenger thinks wherever he was getting that news tonight as well, after all that he did in terms of moving to the Emirates Stadium, that is finally the home of the champions. Mikel Arteta as well.
Welcome back to Sunday Supplement. And as if you needed reminding, Arsenal are the Premier League champions and they will receive their trophy at Selhurst Park later on this afternoon, the first time in 22 years, of course. Let me direct you, John, to the Sunday Times. The headline in Jason Cowley's piece is "Euphoria in Islington." We saw all those shots outside the Emirates on Tuesday night. Was like 1989. It's easy to be an Arsenal fan again. I mentioned they'll arrive at Selhurst Park as Premier League champions. Will they arrive as the most debated champions in recent memory?
I think they will, yeah. I think, from my perspective, I think the debate is quite simple. If you win the title, you get crowned champions, you are absolutely worthy of that title. Because you have been the best team, you've been the most consistent team, you've set the bar, it's over 38 games. Let's be absolutely clear here. If Arsenal win today, they will equal the number of points, 85, that Liverpool achieved last season. Well, there was no debate about Liverpool last season. Liverpool were by far and away the best team in the Premier League. They won it at a canter. Arsenal weren't even realistic contenders last year for various reasons, and they did go a long way in the Champions League. Arsenal have built on what they had last season. They bought a lot of players last summer. Some have worked and some better than others, but ultimately, Arsenal have done it. I think they've used 24 set-piece goals this season, and that's about it, isn't it, really? It's about the style of play. It's about the set-pieces. Listen, Arsenal finished the previous 3 seasons, in runners-up place. Everyone criticised Arteta for, dropping off, and I don't subscribe to the kind of the accusation that there have been bottles. The first time, I actually think they were surprise contenders. The next time, I think they won 9 out of their last 10 games. That's not bottling it. Last year, I think they basically just didn't really sort of press for it because for various reasons, as I say. This year, they've got over the line, and I think the biggest testament you can pay to Mikel Arteta is that he's built, learnt and improved from previous years. Why on earth would you make a team easy to beat? Why would you be so open? They have to learn lessons from it. They've been very good at set pieces, and that's not a criticism. That's not a dig at them at all. That is utilising your strength, maximising your resources, learning from your previous mistakes. They've been harder to beat. They've used absolutely every resource open to them. They've got themselves across the line and been better at it than everyone else. And by the way, they've eased off on their set pieces in recent times. They really have now take short corners while everyone else is now sort of bombing the ball into the box. They've been very, very worthy champions. I think they deserve massive respect and credit and less criticism, frankly.
And on that, it's not like it's fallen to their lap.
No more coffee for Crossy.
I'm on orange juice, by the
way. It's not like it's fallen into their lap, or they've won it by default. As you say, they've been knocking on the door for 3 seasons. And I think, in 23-24, they were brilliant. Arguably a better team than now. But obviously, Arteta had to learn how to win it. And within that, let's not forget as well, I mean, by the last accounts, they're their wage bill is 80 million less than City's. Was it 90 to 100 million less than Liverpool's? That's the equivalent of 5 Bukayo Sakas in wages. I mean, that's 5 kind of close to world-class players. It makes a hell of a difference to a team. And that from a situation as well. I mean, I suppose this is relevant to the Guardiola debate a bit. Guardiola didn't have to do what Arteta did, which was take over a club that was a joke after a year when they finally managed to move on players. What, in 2020, summer of 2021, when City are buying like Grealish, £100 million player, their wage bill's over 300 million. Arteta's is 115 to 125 million. That is a threadbare squad that he's had to build up and really kind of reforge a club again to get to this point. And he did actually get them, he made them competitive again quite quickly within 2 years. And obviously getting to a title has been a bit longer, but that's because who's in front of them. And there's a certain amount of, not quite financial disadvantage, but ultimately he hasn't had, for all the talk about billions spent, in total it hasn't been anywhere near as much spent as some of their rivals. And I think that's really, really impressive management that has been a bit overlooked in all of this.
Martin, Arsenal made a significant change early in Arteta's tenure, and this was at a time when there were a couple of 8th place finishes at the start. There was a 5th place finish in his second full season, significantly behind Tottenham Hotspur. But he went from being a head coach to a manager. So then suddenly he's part of that leadership group with now the sporting director, Andrea Berta, James King, the director of football operations, the co-chair, Josh Kroenke, and Richard Garlick, the chief executive as well. I want to direct you to a piece in the Sunday Times written by your good self.
I'll see if I can
you start off this piece. There was a time when no club had a director of football. Football was directed by the manager. Who are the big winners this season? Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, Unai Emery at Aston Villa, Pep Guardiola at City, all clubs at which the manager is significantly empowered, certainly more than most. They all employ the equivalent of directors of football, yet these are not places where the manager struggles for influence. So lo and behold, with all these structures in place, the best way to go is give the manager more of a say, right?
I've always thought the manager knows who should be in his team. And what Arsenal did, if you look at what Unai Emery said about working for Arsenal after he left, there were 3 particular stories that he told. That he wanted Wilfried Zaha and got Pepe because Pepe was 3 years younger. That nobody consulted him about Mesut Ozil's new contract, which was £350,000 a week. And when he tried to get a meeting with individual players after losing the Europa League final, Ozil never even showed up. He also wanted to keep Aaron Ramsey, and they sold Aaron Ramsey. So you look at that, and they squandered their time with a guy that we can now see is one of Europe's great coaches. Arteta comes along, and the longer he's been there, the more trust they've placed in him, the more influence he's got. And you can see it's worked. He gets the players he wants. It wasn't him that, it was his decision that they didn't buy a striker last year. It was his decision that they had to buy a striker this year. You look at how Emery's influence at Aston Villa. It's huge. You look at where he's taken them. And the third one mentioned there was Guardiola, obviously. And as Miguel said earlier, the man gets everything he wants at Manchester City, the whole club. They actually put everybody in place before he turned.
Honestly, what can I say? Mikel, unbelievable. For what he done, almost visionary what he done. He came in, he turned everything around, got the owners on side, got the fans on side, got players out, got players in. Stuck to his principles, brought the player, Al End, Pierre Mertesacker, he's leaving now. Unbelievable work he's done for us. And, even Eddie's got to get some love. Vinay, all these people have, for the last 3-4 years, have got us to this. It's amazing. Honestly, and this club deserves it. Our fans deserve it. All around the world and everybody, we deserve this, man.
I can hear the emotion in your voice.
Yeah.
I mean, the last, especially given what's happened in the last 3 years, finishing second, does that make this almost more powerful of the feeling?
There's so many times, with Arsenal fans, you just feel like, people just hammer us all the time, constantly hammer our manager for his gimmicks, he's this, he's that. Now they can't do that no more. All that noise has got to stop because everything he's done has led to him winning the league. So they can't hammer him for his gimmicks now, but the fans getting hammered. We're